The cubing is an intimate encounter with your humanity that social norms and niceties keep us from. First, I have a couple of questions for you. Do you ever feel like society is just really off? Like the way we relate to each other is completely different? Like maybe we shouldn't be raising kids alone. Maybe we shouldn't be completely separate from our elders. Maybe our relationships should go a little bit past the surface and get into the depth. Well, by the end of this video, all of that is going to completely shift for you. I'm going to show you how I made the simple shift and how you need to make the same shift too, to where you can become this magnet for your exact perfect lifestyle and social communities and norms to just come flooding into your life. I'm David Dream, your personal hedonistic super connection junkie. Okay, you know that feeling of complete public humiliation. So here I was just getting off the train and I was with this group of people that I had kind of made friends with during the whole trip, and we were kind of acting as a group and we were about to change trains. And as we got off the bus stop, I was like moving towards them as they were kind of, giggling and laughing and this kind of stuff. And as I got up to them, they were just like laughing. They're like, yeah, we're actually going to take this other bus. See you later. And just left me just standing there in the middle of the train station, just alone and completely humiliated and embarrassed. A few months before that, I had kind of given up on any kind of connection. I was just kind of back home and just trying to make connections, trying to do everything that I could, but it just wasn't happening. And I was just kind of giving up. And everybody had told me that I acted more like a LA person, whatever that means. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to try to get on the bus and I'm just going to go. And I just moved out to LA. But once I got there, I tried everything. I tried reading all the books. I tried, getting on dating apps. I tried listening to all the gurus, and it just nothing was working for me. So I just sat there lying there in a parking lot, just like trying to figure out. And I remember one time it just kind of hit me. Like the reason that the dating apps weren't working, it's like, it's really hard to form authentic connections on there and just kind of swipe culture. I tried going to social groups, but it's just like I wasn't really running into the kind of authenticity and the connections that I really wanted to. So that's when I started getting desperate. And I was like, okay, what can I do? Maybe I just have to do everything completely different. So that's whenever I decided I'm going to figure this out. And I don't care what it takes. I'm going to have to sacrifice a bunch of things and really take a deep look at myself and go through some uncomfortable things. But that's what I'm going to do, and I'm going to figure it out. So I was like, what is the opposite of what I'm trying to do? What should I do? I'm trying to please everybody. I'm trying to connect with people. I'm trying to show up in a way that they feel like they can connect with me. And I thought, what if I do the opposite? What if I do the inside out method? And this is when I kind of developed that. And so I just stopped caring about what anybody else thought. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to please me. And I'm just work on radical authenticity. And the only person that I'm worried about what they think about is me. And guess what? Of course, that's whenever it started working. And that's when I realized it's not my fault. It comes from years of social programming and the media and marketing all telling me that I need to do a certain thing and be this, that, and the other. But I realized it wasn't about any of that. It wasn't about any kind of knowledge at all. It was all about radical authenticity. Once I turned my focus inwards and I really started working on this radical authenticity, it was just so crazy. Like people from my past would start coming back in my life. And everybody was just saying things like your energy is different and the way that you're showing up is like, I can feel you. I can feel your energy. And as soon as I started making that inward shift, my entire life has changed exactly immediately, just like that. Every time someone cubes, it's always the same thing. Whenever we go through it, it's always just like frantic tears of joy and transformation, and everybody always wants to go another hour and they always want to stay and see what else we can do. But, it's amazing. I love this is what I do. And it's just so great every time whenever somebody comes to a cube, they go out and live their life and then they come back and it's like everything's changed. Like these people just like started showing up in my life. And I'm like, I know, right? And it's really amazing because the inside out method, it has 3 steps and we're always looking for the second connection, which is connection with each other. But what you see is that once we take care of that second connection, the third one just comes automatically. And you see the added benefits. It's like, once I took care of the first connection, the second one came, and then the third one was like my business exploded, right? It was like every other aspect of my life. I had a bunch more freedom. I could do a lot of more things that I wanted because I had taken care of this. And so that's why I put together this webinar, and I took all the time and energy and quite a bit of money and just really put this together. It's something that I really want you to incorporate. I think that once the world gets this, then we're going to start living completely differently. And I really want you to see this. That's why I took all the time and energy to put this together. And it's just really awesome because the cool thing is, since I took all the time and energy and love and everything and put that into this, it's not going to take you that much time at all to get. the results that you want. So for me, it's like taking years and hours a day and all this to try and switch my mindset to try and really start attracting in that lifestyle and figure out all of the things that the cubing tells us to do. And now that doesn't happen anymore. It's just like, imagine whenever you wake up and you just like automatically feel that magnetism, right? It's like you already have the cubing in your head. You already know, and you have the formulas and the tools. And all you have to do is kind of show up and be authentic. And you just watch the world kind of shift for you. Everything's just a little bit different. People start to show up differently. Different people start to show up. Opportunities are just there. And then other stuff that you didn't even realize was there just kind of shows up for you. And you're like, oh shoot, this was here the whole time. It just reveals itself to you. So in this webinar, I'm going to teach you how to move through each round of cubing so that you and everybody, all your friends, all your relationships, everybody can experience these same things, and they can be witnessed and supported 100% of, well, expressing 100% authentically. And a lot of times it's for the first time ever. And it's a very hot, but an addictive experience. In this webinar, we're going to go over a few things. The first thing we're going to talk about is the inside out method. We're going to go deep into that philosophy. That's really the main philosophy by which, and the foundation by which cubing works. We're going to go in depth into each 3 steps in the inside out method. Then we're going to talk about cubing fundamentals. We're going to talk about the basics of cubing and how it works and how you actually set it up and how you actually move through each round. So we're going to talk about the inside out method, the philosophy, and we're also going to talk about the fundamentals of cubing. And then after we do that, then we're going to go into how to form your own cube. Now, of course, I'd love for you to come and work with me and be in our cubes, but we have very limited space. So I'm going to teach you how you can still get the same benefits from cubing just with your own circle, with your own friends, and even by yourself. And then once you do that, you're going to want to have some examples of cubing and see what it is, because this energy is completely different from any other of the philosophies and anything of the practices that you've ever done before. So you're going to want to see some examples of it so you can see the little differences and you can model it so you can get the most out of cubing. The total value for this whole webinar with all the sections and everything that I put together and all the elements and all the bonuses is about $700. And let me ask you, if all this webinar did was turn you into a complete magnet where effortlessly every single day you just walk out and just be authentic and have your exact perfect situations and relationships and opportunities just flood to you so that you're in a perfect state of bliss, like all the bliss and expansion just all the time. If all this did was do that for you, give you that life, would it be worth that $700? But I'm not going to charge you the $700 for it. I'm not even going to charge you the $300, even the $100 that you were probably thinking. Since you showed up and you were like, hey, I see how this one works. I want to help change the world from the inside out, starting with me. And you're in the first group to say so. Then I'm going to give it to you for just $37. Now, I want to be sure that you get everything out of it that you wanted to. And like I said, like my job, my goal is the results, right? Like, this is the kind of thing that I want out in the world. So if you get this and you realize that it's just not for you, it just doesn't really click the way that you want it to, just send me a message within a week and I'll give you all your money back. Unfortunately, you'll see why I like to keep these cubes really small, and I like to keep these webinars really small so they can be really intimate, and so I can really provide a lot of value to each person, each individual person. So this first one is going to fill up pretty fast. And unfortunately, this is the only time that I'm going to be able to give it to you at the discount of $37. Pretty soon, the next cohort, if that's probably in a week, it's going to go up to the $100 and probably closer to the $200 later on. But for right now, you can click the button right now and just get it for just $37. So just imagine that world whenever you're just able to just step out and whether you're in your work, whether you're in play, whether you're just out doing errands, no matter where you are, you're able to just perfectly exude that amazing cubing energy, that authentic energy that is just so attractive to everybody, and just watch the opportunities and everything line up. Just imagine how your life is going to be different. So just click that button and it's going to take you to the order form. And once you fill that out, it's going to take you to the page where you can see your ticket. For those of you already signing up, be sure to check your email, because in there, you're going to be getting a bunch of bonuses. So make sure you check all those out. And then make sure you do all the tasks too, because that's going to prepare you so that you can get the most out of this webinar. And it's going to really enhance your experience. So we're here. We don't care if you sign up or not. We're still going to show up and provide an awesome experience and a really transformative webinar for people to create amazing things in their life. But for you, you've got to understand, remember, like if you don't, everything's going to be the same. You're going to wake up year after year after year And you're going to have that same feeling of like, what didn't I do differently? How could things have been differently? Maybe I could have had that dream life. I don't mean to be harsh, but I mean, we know it's true. Like I've spent years doing it and so have you. And it's time to make the shift. Go ahead and click the button, fill out the form, and we're going to see you on the inside. Remember, bliss is your birthright. Zoom out.